Well, what is up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys another interesting video. Now, if you're following along with what I've been posting on both Reddit, or not Reddit, but Rumble and YouTube, then you have definitely seen that Biden created a gun violence prevention, building. He's pretty much building that, and they're getting ready to roll out some of their very first gun violence prevention laws in October 1st. And the governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont, has decided that he's going to be the very first one to implement these rules, regulations, and laws, which is quite funny. Because I guess he didn't see what the mayor or governor of New Mexico did. I'm pretty sure it was mayor, who decided to literally limit people's Second Amendment and is now getting ready to be removed and is also being sued. Ironically funny, because these politicians think that because we voted them in power, they have unlimited power. When in all actuality, they serve us. They're public servants. They, literally listen to us. If we want to go to the Capitol, we're allowed to go to the Capitol because that Capitol wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the American people. If it wasn't for us who pay our taxes, if it wasn't for our military who protect this great country, if it wasn't for the people who go to work every day, then the government truly would actually shut down, not these greedy, selfish, fucking wanting people would actually have nothing. These people have no means if it wasn't for their money and their supposed power. The only reason why our government is set up the way it is so that our government can talk to other governments of the world. And that's why our government is much different than every other world's government, because our government is supposed to do what we say, not the other way around. Which is why we have the first 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights that cannot be rewritten, amended, abolished, or anything at all. And apparently, these government officials have failed in history class, because anyone who goes into, I would say, 7th grade history class learns that, hey, guess what? The Bill of Rights can't be messed with. You learn that several times in high school. So it's kind of crazy. It must have just slipped their mind. And or the money and everything else got to them. I'm pretty sure it was the money. But this probably won't last very long. This is in Connecticut, which is kind of funny. But yeah. Now this is 41 minutes long. We're not going to watch it, but we're going to hear a little bit of what he's going to have to say. I just find it funny that they're literally going to create gun violence prevention laws, which is asinine, because technically we already have laws that are supposed to prevent gun violence. But the problem is people like the FBI, ATF, and, also DEA, DAs, and almost anyone who works for the federal government aren't doing their jobs. They're not actually going after cartel members, gang members, drug dealers, and shit like that. No. They're going after people like you and me. That's what they're doing. They're going after the American taxpayer. They don't give a shit about criminals. Which is why they're allowing criminals to do what they did in Philadelphia, or in New York, or in Los Angeles, or in every other state and city that is run by a fucking liberal government. But, yeah, let's get into this.
It is an honor. Maybe see if somebody can run over Akash and see if they'll stop cutting for a minute.
No. Fuck off.
Good morning, everybody.
They're doing their job. You're not.
Here this morning to welcome and MC this event to
all these people with him should be ashamed of themselves.
Connecticut has continued to make in pushing for common sense gun laws. Connecticut has long
common sense gun laws, such as, okay, don't shoot people unless they deserve to be shot, right? Don't break into people's homes unless you want to be shot, right? Hey, don't steal from a grocery store unless you want to get shot, right? Oh, there's so many common sense laws, but yet they have to keep adding more and more stupid laws to help with other laws that then just prevent people from actually following laws or wanting to follow laws. And also, what's the point of a law if law enforcement, like the police, can't arrest people? And when they do, they're in there for like maybe a couple hours until the paperwork's done and then they release them.
Been a leader when it comes to gun safety and common sense gun laws.
You're a moron.
And under Governor Lamont's leadership and the leadership of the legislature, and in particular our Senate and House Judiciary chairs, Senator
Probably all retarded.
Winfield and Representative Staffstrom, Connecticut has continued to make tremendous progress and lead the way nationally.
Right.
The law that was signed into law this past spring.
Did you catch that chuckle he had a little bit? He's like, yeah, we changed stuff. Uh-huh. No, you didn't.
After last legislative session does so many important things. It makes it easier to enforce the ban on ghost guns and high-capacity magazines. It tightens loopholes on
Ghost guns and high-capacity magazines. These motherfuckers are so dumb, and it's so aggravating. I am trying so hard not to cuss, but I really can't help it because they're so flippin' retarded. Criminals are criminals for a reason. They don't follow laws. So what's the purpose of any of these laws other than to limit the American people? Because the American people, the people who actually follow rules and pay their taxes and shit, are the ones who have to follow this. They're the ones who will follow it. So, what is stopping a fucking gang member from getting a Glock switch? Nothing. Oh, guess what? Actually sanctioning imports from China. That would fucking do it. Considering they're coming from China. Oh, how about go after gang members? You know what they look like. You have all this facial recognition technology and all this other technology that can supposedly find friggin' bombers, and oh, you can see friggin' Katie or whoever it was, that governor of Utah or Colorado or whatever. You can see her getting groped in a fucking movie theater, but you can't find gang members? You can't find cartel members? You can't find anyone who's legitimately breaking the law, but you can find all this other stupid shit. Really? No. The American people are not stupid. We're getting really aggravated. And eventually, government, we will do what is actually allowed for us to do, which is march on all the capitals and demand all you corrupt, crooked politicians to step down willingly, or we will force you to. Because that is what the Bill of Rights gives us the availability to do. Free speech gives us the availability to ask and demand that you step down. The Second Amendment gives us the availability to defend ourselves and force you to step down because you're not doing your jobs. You're trying to erode this country. You're trying to let illegals in here and suckle on the teat of Americans while there's literally Americans homeless, destitute, no jobs, no nothing, but you want to give almost 500,000 illegal immigrants jobs when there's Americans who are losing jobs. Are you kidding me? This is asinine beyond belief. Let's hear what the rest of this crap they have to say.
It helps to add additional protection and tighten, close the loophole on what we know as the boyfriend loophole to help protect against domestic violence. It prohibits...
Oh, like that lady who had to apply for a concealed carry permit before she was even allowed to actually buy a gun, who actually had a protection order from one of her boyfriends who came in, beat her, stabbed her to death in her own apartment. Like that. Because here where I live, I can literally go into a gun store within like half an hour or less, leave with a gun. Pay it, do the background check and everything else, and if the background check goes through and passes, guess fucking what? That means the FBI did their background check and saw that I did nothing wrong. I'm not a threat or whatever else. If someone sits there and was able to get a gun, that's the FBI's fault because it's their jobs to process background checks. So come on. Kidding me?
Open carry in the state of Connecticut. It includes provisions regarding safe storage for all weapons. And it also includes a provision that I was proud of.
Safe storage? So, such as like, oh, hey, put your guns in these safes, which then those safes, the companies gave ATF access codes to every single safe that they sell, which then means your shit's not safe. ATF can literally just break into your home, crack open your safe, and you now no longer have guns. Are you kidding me? That's illegal as all hell.
With a coalition of mayors to advocate
Coalition of mayors?
Support, which makes sure that when those individuals who are repeatedly committing acts of violence in our community,
just like the teens, young adults, and everyone else who's been running through all your liberal cities, destroying all your shit, like looting everything, which is why Target, Walmart, and all those other grocery stores are leaving big cities. Those are all repeat offenders. How about the people who've literally been arrested for violence to people over and over again? Where are they? You ain't arresting them and keeping them in jail. But no, this is literally a fear scare tactic to get American citizens, tax-paying, good people, to sit there and do what the government says.
Gun violence specifically.
Who causes gun violence? Criminals. Go after the criminals.
And I'm incredibly grateful to all of the leaders who are here, in our legislature.
Yeah, take note of all their faces. Take note of all these people's faces. They are traitors to this country. Not a single one of them have American flag pin on them, do they?
To say, these
Chinese bought, Russian bought.
Make a practical difference. In the past 2 weeks alone, the Hartford Police Department has recovered 2 ghost assault weapons. They routinely take high-capacity magazines off the street, which are involved in acts of crime.
Right. Let's see that. Let's see it. I want to see it. Where's this evidence? Let me see it. Because you work for the government. I don't believe shit unless there's actual evidence to back up what you say. So, at this moment in time, I bet you're a lying sack of shit. 2 ghost guns? 2 in a whole state. Really? Huh. You think in a whole state you'd think they'd find more than that? Especially in Connecticut.
It's on the ground. And I'm so grateful, as mayor of this city.
You're an idiot.
Who has spent far too much time with the incredibly courageous mothers from Mothers United Against Violence, comforting those who have lost loved ones to gun violence.
Funny thing is, some of those mothers literally had kids who were fucking gang members. Just an FYI. And they do not hold their children accountable for the lives they took. But no, they want to hold other people accountable for anything else. That's asinine. You need to hold everyone accountable for gun violence. If it's your kid that caused the death of other people and you are so appalled by it, you need to literally come to the truth of your kid's a monster then. Come on, all you people who have gang members for children that you aren't stopping them from doing what they're doing. You're a part of the problem. If you have a son or a daughter who's in a gang and you know they're in a gang, you're a part of the fucking problem.
Even in their own grief doing that work. We know how devastating gun violence is, and we know that we have to do everything.
Gun is a tool.
To try to stop
it's the person who uses the tool. Go after criminals.
Step up and do that work. We're continuing to keep Connecticut in the lead. So with that,
right.
It is a tremendous honor to introduce first and foremost our Senate President, a tremendous and long-standing leader on the issue of gun safety, Senate President Martin Looney.
The thing is, not a single one of these people have an American pin on them. No, they have those stupid other things. CAG-V. Yeah, I wonder what CAG-V stands for.
Concerned urban areas like the city of Hartford, city of New Haven, city of Bridgeport, and others. And gun violence, of course, is something.
And how much you want to bet all those cities are literally liberals? How much you want to bet? And this is what I'm talking about. These liberal cities think they can actually make rules for the rural communities that are around them. And that's bullshit. Because a lot of the city crap will literally go to the rural communities. Because when I lived in California, This little community I lived in, a little, conservative, small town farming community, we had cartel members going through there. We had drug runners. We had fucking biker gangs. We had all sorts of people who would literally go through our town because our police were easily bought. So they would literally just go through, transferring their guns, their drugs, and whatever else they were doing. And it's people like this right here that allow that kind of shit to happen because they don't hold anyone accountable. Not really, no. And it's asinine to sit there and go, oh, well, this has got to make things better. No, it's not, because you're not going after actual criminals. Because then that would mean you're putting people's lives at risk. You don't want to do that. No, you'd rather sit there, pull on the heartstrings of like American citizens and go, oh, look, more gun violence. But you're not sitting there saying who caused it. You're not saying it's cartel members or illegal immigrants or gang members. No. Oh, look at this gun violence. You're not even being honest about the amount of gun shootings that happened at schools that were caused by transsexuals. No, you don't want to admit to that. You want to sit there and go, oh, hey, look, a white person shot up this. But you won't sit there and give us the dossier of the school shooter who went up into that Christian school and shot the pastors, their kids, and all those other people. We still don't have that dossier, and that was almost a year ago. Kidding me? Come on now. America needs to wake up and literally hold these bureaucrats, these liberal and conservative, supposedly, bureaucrats, accountable. There should literally be only 2 years that they're allowed to be in office, and that's fucking it.
He has dealt with throughout that time, and as someone who has shown leadership as well as compassion and vision on that issue. As the mayor said, we had, I think, a very significant initiative this year regarding the gun violence and gun violence prevention with the specifics that the mayor ticked off. It has been a struggle with both.
Okay, I can't listen to these people anymore. Gun violence prevention. You want true gun violence prevention, go after gang members. Go into the communities you know where they are. But of course, you don't want to do that because you're going to get called racist. Because majority of it is black communities. So why don't you go to these places and start arresting gang members? Why don't you start arresting MS-13 people? Why don't you start going around through all these areas where you know there's illegal immigrants causing issues and everything else and get rid of them? Start putting people in prison. Start arresting people like you're supposed to be doing. Stop talking about gun violence prevention. If you want to prevent gun violence, then guess what you should do? Go after the people who are causing the gun violence. Don't just create more and more rules and more laws to sit there and choke the actual good people of the country when it's the criminals who are doing all this stuff for you to cause the laws. It's like, the troubled child who keeps doing everything and then the parent keeps creating new rules or locking things up because, they don't want to punish the bad kid. You kidding me? This is the stupidest crap ever. But anyways, that's it for the video. Because this was just stupid. But Ned Lamont's not the only one who's implemented some really asinine gun laws. Gavin Newsom, surprise, surprise there, California, did the same thing. And Supreme Court is going to be very busy this year, that's for sure. So, like, share, subscribe, spread the word, stay free, America. Wake up, please, and start holding your, legislatures, that's city and state legislatures, accountable. Because if you do nothing, they will continue to play these games. You can legally march and you can legally stand outside their homes and demand that they change. Because there's a reason why their addresses have to be public. Because they're supposed to be accessible to us at any given moment in time that we need to talk to them. So, spread the word, guys. Stay free. Love ya.